We know why we are all here, and that's to help re-elect a fantastic supervisor of the 5th District. And we, of course, all know Dave Potter. I want to say a little bit about, first of all, the 5th District. It's an incredibly beautiful district, as we all know. Mel and I just had and Sebastian, had a hike up Sabranes this morning to be able to be out here this afternoon, to be back in Carmel this evening. Think about the range of interests that Dave has an opportunity to represent by representing the 5th District. The range of geography, the range of interests, and one of the reasons that I'm endorsing him is over his 16 years, I think he's done a very good job of trying to represent that broad range, not representing one interest over another, but representing the whole of the 5th District. And I think something interesting has happened in the last few years. As you might imagine, representing that broad interest, you're not going to make everyone happy all the time. There's going to be some people who have never seen a development or a building that they want to see built. And there's going to be some people who've never seen a development or building that they don't want to see built. And so you might imagine, these people, these groups, have started to wonder, well, okay, we like Dave, but he hasn't always been as extreme as we want him to be on one side or the other. And so they've gone out looking for a candidate that could represent those extreme position on one side or another. And the funny thing is that they seem to have selected the same candidate. Okay. Think about that for a second. How is this going to play out? So I actually have to say I have some respect for Mark Del Piero. He's able to keep these parallel universes without colliding.
So far.
So far. And what that means is that you have to have an ability to tell different stories depending on who you're talking to. It's a lot easier if you just stick with who you are and what you represent. But if you're trying to keep these parallel universes from colliding, you got to tell completely different stories. That doesn't work when you're elected. You're not allowed to be up there on the dais and vote two different ways. You have to vote one way. You can't be up there on the dais and speak to one group and not have the other group hear you. Dave has done an excellent job of representing the broad interest. And don't just take my word for it. If you look at the people who are on the ground, who are trying to get things done for their communities, there's a reason, whether you were watching the Democrats or the Republicans in the last few weeks at their conventions, there's a reason that they brought out mayors to talk. Because it's local officials that are charged with getting things done. If you look across Monterey County, the vast majority of our mayors are endorsing Dave Potter. That's because he knows how to get things done. And so we have a challenge. This is a tougher race than it should be because these parallel universes have not yet collided. It's our job to make sure that we bring that truth forward, make sure that people know one side or the other, or both, of those supporters on those extremes are not going to be happy with their candidate should that candidate get elected. We know that we're going to be happy with Dave Potter when we re-elect him because he served us well, served us for 16 years. So I need you to join with me in helping to get him re-elected. Take yard signs, put them up, not if you live in Carmel by the Sea, please. Otherwise, put them up. Take a remit envelope. I'll keep this, and I'll give that to you.
That's your personal.
Yeah. We need the resources to make sure that we have another 4 years of great representation from Dave Potter. Dave, please.